Evolution is the process of change in all forms of life over generations. It explains how early life forms evolve into complex ecosystems. In this century, we all know how evolution is working, but wait, do you know how give the first theory of evolution to explain this process? Yes, so let's explore various theories of evolution. First theory was Lamarck's theory, also famous as Lamarckism. This theory was proposed by Jean-Baptiste de Lamarck. Jean-Baptiste de Lamarck was a French naturalist, biologist, academic, and soldier. He was born in Byzantine, France. In 1778, he published his work entitled Flore Française, which gained him a reputation as a scientist. May 11, 1800, he presented his idea on evolution. In 1801, he published his new classification of invertebrates, in which he separated the old class worms into echinoderms, arachnids, and crustaceans and annelids. He coined the term invertebrates and annelids. He was the first to realize that arachnids were separate from insects. He stressed that the environment caused changes in the offspring. On 1802, he was the first to use the term biology, as it is understood today. He named a large number of species of several plants and animals. He wrote a book, Philosophy Zoologique, 1809, which means zoological philosophy or exposition with regard to natural history of animals. This book outlined the theory of evolution, part of which is now known as Lamarck. Lamarckism is also known as theory of inheritance of acquired characters. It is based on the concept that changes in a structure or function of any organ acquired during the lifetime of an individual in response to changes in environment are inherited by offspring and keep on adding over a period of time. These changes lead to the origin of new species. This theory has four factors or postulates. First, internal vital force or willpower. There is an internal vital force in an organism which increases their body parts. Life by its own force tends to increase the volume of all organs which possess the force of life. Second, the effect of environment and new needs. Environment influences all type of organism. A change in environment brings about the change in organism. It gives rise to new needs. New needs or desire produce new structures and changes habits of organism. These efforts lead to change in the habits or behavior. Third, use and disuse of organs. New characters can be acquired in two ways. Firstly, by use and disuse of organs. Secondly, by effect of environment. By use and disuse of organs. Continuous use or disuse of an organ can lead to keep the organs functional and efficient, or a gradual reduction in size and disappearance. Effect of environment. Changes in temperature, light, medium, food, etc. influence the functionality and behavior of the organism. These changes in functionality and behavior lead to development of new characters. Fourth is inheritance of acquired characters. The characters acquired by the organism are inherited to the next generations. Thus, in every generation, new characters are added and new species get modified to a new one. That is famous as evolution of new species without branching. These are the four factors or postulates that given by the Lamarck to explain his theory of evolution. He gave the many evidence in favor of his theory. Let's discuss these evidences or examples. Firstly, for the evolution of long-necked giraffe. According to Lamarck, giraffe evolved from deer-like ancestors. These organisms had short neck and forelimbs and grazed on grass. As the climate condition changes, the rich vegetation changed to few trees. The leaves of these trees were the only source of food for the giraffe. The ancestor of giraffe had to stretch their neck to obtain the leaves of the trees. This gradual stretching of the neck led to increase in the neck and forelimb. This was then transmitted to next generation and thus giraffes have long neck and forelimbs. Second, evolution of feet of modern horse. They developed the power of fast running to protect themselves from enemies. Thus, gradually there was lengthening of limbs and the middle digit with the reduction of other digits. Third, evolution of snakes. According to Lamarck, the ancestor of snakes were limbed and lizard-like. Out of fear of mammal, these snakes creep jungle floor and living in narrow crevices or burrows. For creeping among the vegetation or burrowing in the narrow, they stretch their body, which gradually become elongated. The limbs were of no use and were hindrance in creeping and burrowing, thus gradually disappeared. Fourth is webbed feet in aquatic birds. Aquatic birds like ducks, swans, and geese, etc., have arisen from the terrestrial ancestors by developing web between the toes of webbing in water. That is adaptation to aquatic mode of life. That is gained by continuous use. Web developed because the ancestor forms had to spread their toes and stretch the skin between them to rest on water. Reduction in size of wings due to their continuous disuse. Fifth is flightless bird. The ancestors of these birds, example ostrich, were capable of flying, but due to some environmental factor, they had plenty of food and were well protected, so they did not use their wings, and that is why they later become vestigial. Sixth is retractile claws of carnivorous mammals. The ancestor of carnivorous mammals such as lions, tigers, etc. has ordinary claws for tearing the flesh of their prey. As the latter gained in running, the carnivorous mammals also had to run fast, for which claws were the hindrance. The animals therefore developed retractile claws. 7 is cave dwellers. The ancestors of cave dwellers had normal eyesight. On account of living under continuous dark conditions, the animal lost their power of to see. These are the some examples or evidence that is provided by Lamarck to explain his theory. Till many years, his theory is accepted as the evolution theory, but as the time passes and many people research, there are many criticisms to Lamarck. The first proposition of theory does not have any gradual base. There is no vital force in organism which increase their body parts. The tendency to increase in size can be seen in many forms. However, evolution also show reduction in size. For example, in angiosperm, the trees are primitive forms, whereas shrubs, herbs, grasses evolve later and are more advanced. As regard the second proposition, the environment can affect the animal, but it is doubtful that a new needs form new structure. For example, man has desired from a too long to fly, but yet they have no developed wings. According to third proposition, the use and disuse of organ is correct up to some extent. However, person constantly using an organ does not necessarily strengthen it. For example, people busy in reading and writing and using their eyes too much often develop impaired eyesight. According to fourth proposition, regarding the inheritance of acquired character is distributed. If any of the parent become blind or deaf or lame before producing the offspring, they do not produce blind or deaf or lame offspring. Mutations and bounds of parents do not appear in the offspring. Small feet in China women, piercing of nose and ears in Indian women are age-old customs, yet these have no hereditary effects. The strong muscles of the wrestlers are not inherited by his children. Hope you will understand the basic idea of Lamarckism, in which we have discussed the four postulates that explain the origin of new species, such as the internal vital force, effect of environment, use and disuse of organ, inheritance of acquired